Armağan, şimdi ben hostluğu kime vereyim?
Başladı mı acaba?
Hocam
Tamam, sana vereceğim.
siz kaydı başlattınız sanırım.
Kaydı başlattım. Benim yapacağım başka bir şey var mı? Yok.
Yok, hayır.
Tamam, ben o zaman sana hostluğu iletiyorum. Bu arada bütün öğrencilerimiz iyi ama
Başlayalım mı?
Armağan'a ayrı bir parantez açmak isterim. Sonra konuşuruz.
Hocam
Hepsi
ben
çok,
başlayayım
hepsi
mı
çok
yoksa
iyi.
biraz daha katılımı bekleyelim mi?
Valla Füsun Hanım karar versin.
Başlayalım hocam. 49 kişiyiz. Ortalama bu sayıda oluyoruz zaten her okulda hemen hemen.
Aynen.
Çok da zaman almayalım.
Aynen.
Evet, söz sizde. Dinliyoruz sizi keyifle.
Ekranımı görebiliyor musunuz siz?
Evet.
Evet.
Başlıyorum. Hello everybody, welcome to our lesson. I am Arman from Hüseyi Science High School and we will learn medicine and health in this biology class. Our biology mile Danish and scientific contribution and concerning to our presentation. Let's start our lesson. Our first subject is what is medicine and health. Second subject is staying healthy. Third subject is the importance of health. Fourth one is subheadings of medicine. Fifth is scientists who have contributed to medicine and health. Sixth is what is endosymbiotic theory. Seventh is information on endosymbiotic theory. And last question for you, what is medicine and health? Don't you have an answer? All technical and scientific studies apply to cure, elevate, or prevent illnesses. Doctors have studied for centuries to ensure that people are happy and able to exist. 1, to find the causative agent. 2, to find and apply the treatment that will eliminate this factor. 3, to remove the factors that cause the disease from your environment or to erase them from the earth. According to Turkish Language Institution, health is the person's incomplete physical, social, and psychological well-being. According to the World Health Organization, 3 basic criteria of health are 1, bodily well-being, 2, spiritual well-being, 3, social well-being. Bodily well-being is absence of situations such as deficiency, dysfunction, carrying microbes in the tissues and organs that make up the body. Spiritual well-being is a state of thinking in accordance with his age, able to express what he thinks, understand others, know how to cry and laugh in place, struggle with difficulties, act according to conditions, be happy in success, and accept failures, and be at peace with himself. Social well-being is a state of knowing how to behave and take responsibilities, have good relations, and love the people and environment.
And I'm going to talk about staying healthy. There are some steps you can take to stay healthy. The first one is exercise. Try to be active for 30 to 60 minutes, about 4 or 5 times a week. Exercise can help prevent heart disease, diabetes, and colon cancer. It can help treat depression, osteoporosis, and you should get enough sleep and rest. Adults need around 8 hours of sleep a night. Chronic sleep deprivation may raise the odds for heart disease, diabetes, stroke, obesity, and many others, make sleep easier, and it also regulates the sleep cycle. It's a growth hormone that ensures making proteins and cell growth. This hormone is released between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. The third one is nutrition. You should eat a well-balanced, low-fat diet with lots of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. A healthy diet can help you lose weight and lower your cholesterol as well. The fourth one is stress. You should learn to recognize and manage stress in your life. Signs of being too stressful can include trouble sleeping, frequent headaches, stomach problems, or being angry a lot. The next one is sun exposure. Sun exposure is linked to skin cancer, so you should stay out of the sun, especially between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. when the sun's harmful rays are the strongest. And you should use sunscreen year-round on exposed skin like your face or your hands. Lastly, goals. You should always set goals for yourself, even if you're retired. Setting goals can give you long-term vision and motivation. It helps you stay active, so it's important for your mental health. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, I am Melis from TED Edirne College, and I'm going to tell you about the importance of health and subheadings of medicine. The importance of health, in addition to all the riches of his era, Suleiman the Magnificent, who was sitting in the throne of the Ottoman Empire, the strongest state of the century, expressly stated in this couplet that health is superior to all wealth and resources in one breath. There is no valid object in the republic, not being like the state. The state is like a breath of health in the world. Kanuni Sultan Süleyman, according to World Health Organization, health is not just illnesses or disability, it's a state of complete well-being in physical, spiritual, and social aspects. Medicine has 24 subheadings, and these are histology, microbiology, molecular biology, biophysics, pathology, biomechanics, genetics, biostatistics, medical physics, toxicology, immunology, neuroscience, anatomy, pharmacology, gynecology, photobiology, epidemiology, cytology, physiology, embryology, nutrition science, biochemistry, endocrinology, and radiobiology. Histology is the study of the structures of biological tissues. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms. Molecular biology is the study area of biology at the molecular level. Biophysics is the study of physical events in physiology. Pathology is the study of disease, the causes, course, progression, and resolution thereof. Biomechanics is the study of the structure mechanics. Genetics is the study of genes and their role in biological inheritance. Biostatistics is the application of statistics to biological files in the broadest sense. Medical physics is the study of the applications of physics principles in medicine. Toxicology is the study of hazardous effects of drugs and poisons. Immunology is the study of the human system. Neuroscience examines the nervous system. Anatomy is the study of the physical structure of organisms. Pharmacology is the study of drugs and their actions. Gynecology is the study of the female reproductive system. Photobiology is a discipline that deals with the effect of light on living things. Epidemiology is a branch of medicine that deals with epidemic diseases. Cytology is the microscopic study of individual cells. Physiology is the study of the normal functioning of the body and the underlying regulatory mechanisms. Science is the study of the relationship of food and drink to health and disease. Biochemistry is the study of the chemistry taking place in living organisms. Endocrinology is the study of hormones and their effect through the body of animals. Radiobiology is the study of the interactions between ionizing radiation and living organisms. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Özgür from Gardner High School. I am going to tell about has been involved in many multi-center studies in Europe and Asia. She was the principal investigator in specifically identified genes for osteogenesis imperfecta and facial development. She described two new genes in this field. Then Aziz Sancar did research about DNA. He received a Nobel Prize in chemistry in 2015 for his research into how DNA is preserved and repaired. Alexander found X-nuclease enzyme. This enzyme term entered Oxford Biochemistry Molecular Dictionary. Then please Gökhan Hatamışlıgil. Gökhan Hatamışlıgil did like research about metabolism, generic diabetes, and obesity. This topic used to intensify his research. He found a lipid hormone that can stop diseases like diabetes. TÜBİTAK won the science prize. Research cancers for more than 20 years. Found that the BioNTech in German. She developed techniques for the characterization of tumor antigens. She received the Chance Prize from the Hematology and Oncology Association in Germany in 2020 because she and Sarai found in Turkey and husband found COVID-19 vaccine.
Hello everybody, I am Yağmur from Hüseyi Armas Marmara Anatolian High School. Now I am going to talk about what is endosymbiotic theory. Endosymbiotic theory, it deals with the root of mitochondria and plastids in eukaryote cells organelles. Theory claims that the mentioned organelles roots from prokaryote life are with eukaryote cells. What is scientific evidence to support endosymbiotic theory? When mitochondria and chloroplasts are produced today by mitosis divisions, that's how bacteria multiply. Two ribosomes of type 17 as found in organelles and ribosomes found in bacteria are the same. Three, the dimensions of mitochondria and chloroplasts are quite similar to those of a bacterium. For some enzymes produced in mitochondria are very similar to those in bacteria. 5. The telocyte structure of the chloroleaves contained in chloroplasts and the structure of cyanobacteria are Hi, I'm Fethi from Edirne Social Sciences High School. Information on endosymbiotic theory. Endosymbiotic theory is a scientific concept that allows us to understand how eukaryotes, which have more complex cells, nuclei and membranous organelles, evolved from prokaryotes such as bacteria and archaea, which have simpler structures without nuclei and membranous organelles, and the evolution of eukaryotes has become understandable. Abiogenesis is the question of the origin of life in natural sciences, the investigation of how life on Earth can develop from the non-living. Thus, with the emergence of life, the abiogenesis is the theory of evolution that explains the diversity of modern life. Thank you.
Hi, I am Hüseyi from İbrahim Enal Science High School. I am going talking about endosymbiotic theory. According to the endosymbiotic theory, the bacteria that ruled for millions of years at some point ingested some other bacteria or proteobacteria smaller than themselves into the cells to eat by endocytosis. Next. But they couldn't digest them. Next. After this failure to digest, both bacteria took a more advantageous position than before. This is because the large and predator bacterium enables this bacterium which eat but cannot digest to perform intracellular functions. Next. On the other hand, small bacteria that are prey are much safer in this new intracellular location than before, and reach the materials they need much more easily. Therefore, natural selection has supported this relationship, and as a result, the first eukaryotic cells were formed. Next. In short, the cooperation of more complex cells with more than one cells with a simpler structure. Thank you.
Let's watch a video about this subject.
Just to recap from our Intro to Cells video, when you think of prokaryote, think of pro rhyming with no nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotes, on the other hand, remember eu rhymes with do, and they do have a nucleus, and other membrane-bound organelles. Both prokaryotes and eukaryotes are cells, though, and therefore they do have a few things in common that cells have, including a cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, and genetic material. But just look at these two cell types and you will see that one is way more simple. So what explanation does the endosymbiotic theory provide for how eukaryote cells could have evolved from prokaryote cells? A long, long time ago, seriously a long time, over 2 billion years, much like there are today. They've been around for a long time. Well, just as there are in many organisms, there was variety in prokaryotes. Some of the prokaryotes had photosynthetic abilities, which means they could make their own food using sunlight energy. And those were the photosynthetic bacteria. Some of these prokaryotes were bacteria that had the ability to use oxygen to produce ATP energy. And some prokaryotes were larger, they could consume others, engulfing them. So obviously they had to be larger. The endosymbiotic theory is that some of these large cells engulfed some of these small bacteria. But instead of those small bacteria getting digested, some of them remained intact, and they actually began to live as symbionts. That means they lived together. This is believed to be the ancestor heterotroph eukaryote cell. And eventually, some of these cells engulfed the small bacteria that could do photosynthesis in addition. And there were some more living as symbionts. This is believed to be the ancestor autotroph eukaryote. Now, it's time to do a little reveal. We consider the bacteria that used oxygen to produce their own energy to have evolved into what is now mitochondria. And the bacteria that use sunlight energy to produce their own food, well, we consider those to have evolved into what are now chloroplasts. It's likely that these ancient eukaryotes had some kind of advantage in their endosymbiosis, and it's also likely that the mitochondria developed first, before the chloroplasts, because if you remember from our Intro to Cells video, nearly all eukaryote cells have mitochondria. It's just that eukaryote cells that can do photosynthesis can have both mitochondria and chloroplast. Now, if you remember our beginning about theories, you may be wondering, where are the facts for this? We'll give you a few of the facts. First, mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA. Yes, separate DNA from what is found in the nucleus. Not to mention that their DNA is arranged in a similar way to prokaryote DNA, specifically bacterial DNA. The size of mitochondria and chloroplasts tend to be similar to the size of bacteria. And when mitochondria and chloroplasts divide, which they can divide all on their own independently, they divide in a way that is similar to how bacteria divide. So the endosymbiotic theory provides an explanation for how modern eukaryotes evolved from prokaryotes. There's obviously more questions you might want to explore. For example, what about some of the other structures and organelles in eukaryotes? We'll keep exploring. Secondary endosymbiosis is a great place to start. One last thing we want to make sure to emphasize. Endosymbiosis isn't just reserved for a theory that explains a past event in ancient history. No, because endosymbiosis is actually happening today with many other kinds of organisms. One of our favorite examples, the termite. Yes, termites can have prokaryotes that live in their gut and help them digest wood. And without them, well, let's just say digesting wood wouldn't happen so well. Well, that's it for the Amoeba Sisters, and we remind you to stay curious.
And now we will watch a video in Turkish. We think it will be good to watch it in our native language because our subject is a very technical subject.
Endosimbiyozis hipotezine göre oksijenli solunum yapan mor bakteri ilkel hücreler hücresinin içine girerek hücreyle ortak yaşam birliği oluşturmuştur. Karşılıklı yarar sağlanan bu birliktelikte hücre bakteriye besin sağlarken bakteri hücreye enerji sentezlemektedir. Kloroplast organelinin oluşumu ise fotosentez yapan siyonobakterilerin hücre içine girmesi ve ortak yaşam birliği oluşturarak hücreye fotosentez yapabilme yeteneği kazandırmasıyla açıklanır.
Our presentation is over. Now we have a card quiz. Please attend.
Füsun öğretmenim, öğrencilere söylemiş miydik kağıt olacağını falan?
Onun bilgisini vermedik.
Ha, anladım. Tamam. Evet, bütün Hüseyin Girenes Fen Lisesi öğrencilerini kağıt oynamaya davet ediyoruz. Bakalım biyolojiniz nasılmış? Bir görelim.
Hocam
Evet,
isterseniz ben bir bilgilendirme yapayım. Çünkü bu
tabii.
konuda bir şey söylememiştik. Kusura bakmayın. Kahoot'a girmek için ilk önce telefonlarınızda Kahoot uygulamasını indiriyorsunuz ve orada Enter PIN yazıyor. Oraya basarak ekranda çıkan 870 ile başlayan PIN'i girmemiz gerekiyor. Eğer telefondan değil de bilgisayardan girmek istiyorsanız da zaten PIN'in yanında gözüküyor. Oradan da girebilirsiniz internet sitesinden.
Peki Armağan, bu kağıt ne ile alakalı? Onu söyleyelim bir de.
Bu bizim yaptığımız sunumun özeti niteliğinde bir konu değerlendirme testi gibi olarak düşünülebilir. Anlattıklarımızdan çıkacak sorular.
Biliyorsun şeyde indirmeye de gerek yok. Direkt kahoot.it'ten de girebiliyorlar. Yani uygulamayı indirmeye gerek kalmıyor. Sadece kahoot.it zaten yukarıda ekranda görüyorsunuz. Oraya giriyorsunuz. Oradan girişte yapabilirsiniz. Yani uygulamaya gerek yok. Armağan nasıl olacağını da söyleyelim. Ekran ve cevaplama yeri olarak onu da hatırlatalım.
Evet. Şimdi Esra ekranı paylaşıyor. Ekrana çıkan soruların cevaplarını buradan işaretleyeceksiniz. Yani telefonda zaten şıklar çıkacak. Soru bizim ekranımızda görünecek. Bu şekilde. Zaten ilk sorudan anlaşılacak.
Evet. İsterseniz başlatalım. 10 kişi oldu.
Hocam zaten 7 dakika kaldı. Şimdi bir daha bölünmesin buraya kadar gelmişken.
Öğretmenim bu arkadaşları tanıyabilir miyiz? Kimler acaba? Hello ve Blue.
Kim acaba bunlar?
Acaba Armağan mı?
Armağan gibi
Hallo
geliyor.
mu?
Hello zaten Armağan'dır mutlaka da.
Hello mu acaba bu kez Hallo mu?
Esra mı?
Hocam biliyorsunuz dün ben kazanınca Özgür biraz ağladı. O yüzden bugün biraz nasıl diyeyim hırslı geldi ve ismini Hallo yaptı.
Ha bir de ismi
alakası yok. Hani zaten kağıtta hep kazanıyorum. Dün 2-3 yanlış yaptım. Dedim ki başkaları kazansın. Hani katıldığımız okul bizim okuldu çünkü sunum. Armağan da meydanı boş bulup birinci oldu. Dedim ki ben de bari hani çıkayım. Gelmiş bugün de hocam sallıyor bana. Hiç alakası yok. Ben sadece sırf Armağan'a bir gönderme olarak kara yaptım. Yoksa hello oldu. Yanlış yazmışım hocam aslında. Hello yazacak.
Blue kim? Blue. O da ortaya çıkmak istemiyor demek ki. Tebrik ediyoruz.
Blue'dan sesi yok.
Evet. Tebrik ediyoruz. Buyurun çocuklar.
Thanks for attending and listening. We hope you like our presentation. Good evening. Bu arada tekrar benim Türkçe bir teşekkür etmem gerekiyor. Değerli öğretmenlerim ve sevgili arkadaşlarım, gerçekten çok teşekkür ederiz bugün bizi yalnız bırakmadığınız için. Umarım sunumumuzu da beğenmişsinizdir. Çok teşekkürler.
Biz teşekkür ederiz.
Biz teşekkür ederiz.
Hüseyin Renes Fen Lisesi'ne çok teşekkür ediyoruz. İdarecileri ve öğretmenleriyle, öğrencileriyle, Füsun öğretmenime de çok teşekkür ediyorum. Çok sağ olun.
Aynı şekilde.
Lütfettiniz, geldiniz. Sağ olun, onur verdiniz. Serhat şehri Edirne'den herkese selamlar diliyorum.
Alanya'dan da Edirne'ye selamlar hocam.
Çok sağ olun, çok sağ olun. 2 kere gelme fırsatım oldu Alanya'ya. Hatta devlet hastanesine bile uğramak zorunda kaldım. Alanya gayet güzel bir yer. Bir tek nemi çok fazlaydı. İnşallah bir yerde görüşme fırsatımız olur. Tanıştığıma çok memnun oldum herkesle.
Bizler de öyle hocam. İyi akşamlar, sağ olun.
İyi akşamlar, sağ olun.
İyi akşamlar.
İyi akşamlar.
Teşekkürler.
İyi akşamlar.
İyi
akşamlar herkese.
İyi akşamlar.